Everybody. This is Lisa Graves Taylor from Birth Mothers NYC and East River Doula Collective. Today we are going to be doing a 30-minute postpartum appropriate yoga and Pilates routine with Laura. And here she is. So she's going to join us. Bear with us. Get your masks out if you'd like to practice with us. Hello, welcome. Laura's coming on. There she is. Hey, Laura, how's it going?
Hello, I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear
Okay.
me? I guess
Yeah,
you can since you
I can.
responded.
Yes, I hear you.
Great. All right. Well, I'm excited to learn from you and move with you today. Is there anything you want to share in terms of like timing and postpartum for the movement where the yoga and Pilates we're about to do,
Yeah,
or any of the, I don't know, benefits of this? Anything you'd like to share?
yeah, for sure. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Laura Dalesme. I live here locally in Queens, New York. I'm a prenatal, postnatal Pilates and yoga instructor, as well as a birth doula, and I'm part of the East River Doula Collective, a recent joiner. So I'm happy to be on here and to introduce some of you to some safe and mindful movement that you can start to include as you start to get, I would say, into the 6 weeks postpartum, or any time where you
Hmm.
get that clearance from your medical provider. We do want to just make sure, in that 6 week follow-up appointment, that you're cleared to move. And I think from that point on, then this routine that we'll do together today will be a great place to start. And I would say also keeping in mind to maybe, in that first week when you start to move, maybe doing this routine once or twice that week and kind of noticing how you feel. And then if you feel, the day after that you're not having any sort of pain or uncomfortable symptoms show up, then, that's a sign that your body is maybe ready for a little bit more.
Hmm.
And then maybe starting to do that one more time the following week, and then maybe doing it daily for that month after that 6 week period. And then after that, I think this will be a good kind of conditioning to then go back into whatever movement you were practicing before your pregnancy.
Mm-hmm. And I'm 17 years postpartum and 20 years, almost 20 years postpartum. Is it okay for me to do
It
it?
is
I think so.
absolutely okay. And I think anyone would benefit from it. But I think in terms of benefits directly, if we're thinking of a postpartum person, I like to think of movement in general, but in postpartum especially, as being functional. And what I mean by that is we want to move in a way it's because I was lifting my hand. That's
So
going
funny.
to support your daily activities and these repetitive movements that we do to give us more stability, more strength. So thinking
Hmm.
about, postpartum, we tend to have some upper back and kind of neck tightness from holding baby, feeding baby, and those repetitive motions.
Hmm.
So how can we include some movement that's going to help open our shoulders, open our chest, and stabilize that upper body?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the feeding the baby and the holding the baby, we
Yes.
end up being kind of hunched over a lot. So that opening is so good. And all of us who are just on our phones and computers all the time as well,
Have
right?
that, yeah, and suffer from that, I think, in general, in today's world, for sure.
Hmm.
Then I think reconnecting in a mindful way to, your core and those deep layers of your abdominals, so that
Hmm.
eventually when you go back to maybe more higher intensity impact training, we feel strong, we feel stable, and we feel supported.
Hmm.
And then working a little bit on strengthening our glutes, quads, and thighs that are going to help stabilize the pelvis, so that when you are, leaning down to maybe lift baby or to pick up anything, we have that support that's coming from our legs.
Hmm. Yeah, really important.
Should
Great.
we get started?
Yeah.
Okay.
absolutely. I introduced myself before you came on, so I don't
Oh,
think I
you
need to
did?
do that
Okay, good.
again.
So let me
Yeah.
just set this up in a way that
Let's
hopefully
see.
you can see my mat as well.
I mean, these
And I may need to,
little little bitty half screen is tricky.
I know I'm trying to do it. Let's see.
There we
Oops.
go. I think that works.
Is that good, you think? Yeah. You can always tell me if you don't see me
I
completely.
don't see you yet, but you're also getting situated.
Okay, let's see. I think this should
Yeah,
work. I haven't done one where the screen is like you're
I
saying, like half.
know, and I don't know. I don't know that
Let me
there's
try.
a way to change it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so. As far as I know.
No, I think it should be fine.
There we go. Now I'm seeing your map more. Yeah.
Okay, good. Awesome. So we're going to start lying down on our back. So just get comfortable on your back. Your knees can be bent, or if you prefer to have straight legs, you can do that. But I would say bent knees is probably best. And we're just going to start with some mindful breathing and what we call diaphragmatic breath. So if you place your hands either on your low belly or on your ribs and just relax your shoulders into the mat, I want you to think of here as you breathe in to let the belly expand into your hands and the rib cage as well. And as you exhale through your mouth, just gently start to draw the belly in and feel the rib cage close. And again, deep inhale, we let the belly expand. And as we exhale, we're just softly pulling the belly in, feeling the deep layers of your abdominals here wrap around your spine. And do that a few times, making sure as you do this, your jaws are relaxed, your neck and shoulders are relaxed. And let's do one more breath like that. So this is a great way to breathe even before that 6-week clearance from your doctor or medical provider, in your bed, just kind of practicing these deep belly breaths so that we're thinking about drawing the belly in and then letting it expand. Okay, and then let's take our hands down to the mat, and your feet can come together, knees together. So your knees are still bent, you've just connected your knees and feet here. And then I'd like you to think of your belly as a bowl of water. So we want to tuck our tailbone under us and let the water spill onto our chest. This is your pelvic tilt. And then I want you to think about the bowl of water spilling forwards onto your thighs, and your low back can lift a little bit off the mat. And so as I exhale, I'm tilting the pelvis towards me. The water spills on my chest. And as I inhale, I let the water spill forwards and my pelvis tilts forwards. And just play around with that. See how that feels for your low back. And then if you can start to bring the awareness again of that low belly breath. So as you exhale and tuck the tailbone under you, see if you can draw the belly in. And then as you inhale and let the pelvis move forwards, you can let the belly expand. And sometimes it's helpful here to place your hands on your belly again, just to feel that, or even on your hip bones to feel what's moving in my body, to just connect to that. And let's do one more tilt forwards and back. And then we'll come back to neutral. So if we keep that image of the bowl of water on your belly, now we want to keep the water inside the bowl. So we're not letting it spill. We're going to separate our feet hip distance apart. And we're just going to lift our right leg up to tabletop, which means your knee is over your hip. And then you can put that foot down. And then lift your left leg up to tabletop and place it down. And again, we're moving here really with the intention and the goal of keeping the pelvis stable. So keeping the water inside of your bowl, really starting to rely a little bit more on our abdominals to support the stability of the pelvis. And I'm just taking a look at you. Yeah, perfect.
It's hard because I can't see you. You're so far off. I can't see, but your cueing is excellent. So thank you.
Yeah, you look great. Let's do one more on either side. And then you can come back with your 2 feet on the mat. Maybe open your feet a little wider, as wide as the mat, and just gently windshield wipe your knees softly side to side.
Oh, I always love this one.
Yeah, this feels good on your hips and the low back area. And then you can come back to center. Bring the feet in a little closer again to hip distance. So this time we're going to lift the right leg into tabletop again, and we're going to hold it there. Then your 2 hands are going to go on your right thigh or the right knee of that leg that's lifted. I want you to take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to press the knee away, but the knee is resisting, and you're drawing the belly in. And then inhale, let the belly expand. As you exhale, you press the knee away, but the knee and the thigh respond back. So there's this opposition. And as you do this, you're really focusing on that lift and drawing in of the abdominals. Good. And you should feel, again, those deep core muscles start to activate. Nice. Let's do one more. How does that feel for you, Lisa?
That's great.
And then you can put that foot down, take a breath, maybe stretch the arms overhead, stretch your abdominal wall. And then when you're ready, arms can come back down, and we'll try that on our left side. So left leg in tabletop, both hands are on the thigh or the knee. Take a breath in. As you exhale, press your knee away, draw the belly in, and then the thigh wants to press into the hands as well. And then breathe in, just release that. Exhale again, pressing the knee away, belly button pulls in towards the mat. Let's do 2 more. Exhale, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Last one here. And then slowly put your foot back down. You can take the knees to your chest. Your knees could be wide apart or together. See what feels better for you. You can also do some circles with your knees, just massaging your low back, taking a couple breaths. And then our feet will come back down onto the mat. We're going to do one more here on our back, which is a really simple exercise, our bridges. So our feet are hip distance, and you want your feet to be pretty close to your sits bones. And then as you inhale, you're going to reach your arms up to the ceiling, palms face each other. Tuck the tailbone under you, press into your heels, and start to roll off the mat, coming onto your upper back and shoulders. And then as you exhale, arms come down, articulate your spine back down. Your tailbone and hips are the last thing to come down. Breathe in when you get on the mat. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, find that pelvic tilt. Abdominals draw in, arms lift with your hips, and then slowly return to the mat. So if I'm really focusing on spinal articulation, meaning I tuck my tailbone, I peel my spine off the mat, I need to draw my abdominals in to get that articulation. And same thing, when I return on the mat, if I focus on setting my upper back down first, then your mid back, low back, and your hips, the abdominals have to move with me. Let's do one more. And then we can hold this bridge, so arms will stay up. Beautiful. Can you lift your right heel off the mat? Just the heel, the toes stay down. Yeah. And then your heel goes back down and you switch to the other side. And our goal and challenge here is to try and keep your pelvis leveled, so nothing moves, just the heel lifts, and you can keep switching. Good. And make sure you're still breathing as you do this.
You heard me not breathing.
really nice. Let's do one more on either side. And then slowly articulate your spine down again to release, and your arms can come back. Good. Let's hug the knees to your chest one more time, and then hold on to the back of your thighs here. And you can just do a little bit of massage of the spine, like rolling up and down. And then eventually you can use a little bit of momentum and sit all the way up. Okay, let's move on to all fours. So we're going to be on our hands and knees. Your hands are going to be directly under your shoulders, and your knees are going to be right under your hips. And make sure you're spreading your fingers wide into the mat. And we're just going to do a simple cat-cow. So think about threading the chest between your arms, lift the gaze, open your heart here. And then as you exhale, round your spine and really look to your thighs and really exaggerate that cat movement. Nice. And then breathe in to look forwards, opening the heart and the chest. And as you exhale, press the mat away, lift the shoulders to your ears. Nice. Let's do one more both ways. And exhale. Nice. And then let's come back to neutral spine. So somewhere in between those two shapes. And if we come back to that diaphragmatic breath here, I want you to think, inhale, let the belly release. As you exhale, lift the belly up, but without changing the shape of the spine. So we're not going into a cat or cow. We're really just feeling that it's the low belly, the abs that we're letting release, pelvic floor softens. And then as you exhale, draw the pelvic floor up and lift the belly up. Nice. Let's do two more. Breathe in and breathe out. Yeah, really good breathing. And last one like that. And then we'll stay in this neutral spine position. We're going to take our right hand behind our right ear. Try to not turn the chest as you do this. So just bring the hand behind your ear. Here, as you exhale, open your elbow to the ceiling, look to the right, look up. So we're rotating the spine. And then exhale, your elbow can point back down to the mat. And then exhale, elbow opens and closes. So think about the rotation coming from your mid-back. Yes, really good. Trying to keep the hips parallel. And you're like me, you're a little hypermobile in your elbows, so give me a tiny bend in that right elbow.
Oh, okay, got it.
The
And
one
the
that's
left and
on
the
the
right.
mat.
Yeah.
Just to not lock
Okay.
that joint.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Last one like that. Beautiful. And then you can place your hand back down. And let's take a little child's pose before we do the other side. So you can open the knees, sit back towards your heels, and your forehead can rest on the mat. If you ever need a block here, or you could use a pillow for your forehead, we really want the head to be able to relax. Good. And so those rotations that we were doing with the elbow, that's a really great one to do when you feel kind of that upper mid back is a little bit tight from that roundness. That's going to help open that up.
Yes.
Okay, let's make our way back to all fours. So making sure wrists are under shoulders, knees are under hips. We're going to take now our left hand behind our left ear. And then we open the elbow, points up towards the ceiling, exhaling. And then inhale, elbow looks down to the mat. Beautiful. Exhale, opening, finding the rotation from your mid-back. So your head is moving along, but we're not turning our head and our neck. It's really the mid-back that's leading the way. Good. Let's do one more like that. Beautiful. And then you can place your hand back down. Okay, from here, we're going to go into what we call bird dogs. So still tabletop. We extend the right leg up and back to hip height. Try to have your foot, flexed or pointed. Working with the space that
Hitting
we
my
have.
couch.
And then from here, if you have space, extend your opposite arm. Beautiful. And we're just trying to hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can release hand and knee down. And let's try that on your other side. So extending first the leg and then the arm. Beautiful. And again, little bend in that elbow that's on the mat. Yes, beautiful.
Good
5,
reminder.
4, 3, 2, 1, and come back. Nice. Let's take a little child's pose again to reset. And here in child's pose, if it feels nice, you can walk your hands to the right side of your mat, and maybe the left hand can stack above the right one. And think about the left hip kind of grounding you, pulling it back onto the mat to feel the opening in the side of your body here. And then walk the hands to the left side of the mat, and your right hand can stack on top of the left with that right hip gently pulling you back. Good. And then let's come back to center. Okay. We're going to come and lie on our side. So you can lie on your left side facing me so that I can see you.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to lie down. We're going to either rest our head on our arm, or if it feels better for you, you can be propped up on your forearm and your hand can rest inside. Your head can rest in your hand. My 2 legs are bent 90 degrees. So my knees are in front of me. And then bring your toes forwards as well, so you're able to see your toes. Beautiful. Now let's lift your top leg to hip height and start reaching that leg out straight as if you're pushing an imaginary wall, and then bend your knee to 90. And then exhale, press out. Inhale, bend in. The hands can stay on the mat. If you want to check in here with your center, you could place the hand on the low belly and just make sure as you're pushing away that you're drawing the abdominals in. And then as you're bending the leg, you can let the abdominals release into your hand. So exhale, that's where I push and I draw the belly in. Inhale, bend, and release the belly. Let's go for 3. So if we're really keeping the leg hip height, we're going to start to feel our glutes and our outer thigh. Let's go for 2 more. And then we're going to hold that leg out straight. You're going to just float the leg up and down. It doesn't have to be big. Imagine here you're sweeping your foot up and down a wall. So there's a lot of energy coming out of the heel and the sole of my foot here. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2. Do we start to feel the glute a little bit? Okay. 1, we're going to hold the leg hip height. Now I want you to draw tiny circles forwards with your foot and your leg. So small circles, think circles the size of a dinner plate. So you're circling up, forwards, and back to hip height. For 4, making sure the breath stays active, so we're breathing continuously. 2, 1, and then we're going to reverse. And this is our last set. We're going for 6. So now we're circling up and back. 4, 3, 2, and 1 to release that. Give your sides a little tap.
Rub it. It's good.
And
Feel the burn.
we can roll onto our back. And that same side that we were doing, so take that foot on the edge of your thigh and do a little figure 4. You can open your arms to cactus or to T. A cactus just means like 90 degrees. And then you can do a little rocking, just gentle rocking, opening up our hip and glute a little bit more.
Figure four is one of my favorite stretches.
Yeah, it feels so good. And then you could also like thread and grab the back of your thigh if you wanted to. And do a little bit more here. And then we're going to release that. So we're going to do the other side. So I'm just going to flip around on my mat, and that way we're still facing each other. So again, find the comfortable support for your head, whether that's arm straight or arm bent. Both legs are bent 90. I'm able to see my toes. I start lifting my top leg to hip height. Breathe in. As you exhale, push away, stretching the leg. And then the leg goes back to 90, and exhale, press out, stretch your leg, and bend. And our goal here is to keep our hips stacked and the shoulders stacked. So make sure you're able to stay lying on your side. The hand that's free here could go onto the belly, just checking in with our abdominal engagement. Make sure that when you push out, you're gently drawing the belly in. Exhale. Inhale. Good. Let's go for 2 more. And 1 more. We're going to hold the leg here. You're just floating it up and down in the air with a flex foot, brushing your foot here up and down a wall for 5 and 4, 3, good, 2, 1. We hold the leg hip height. We go up and forwards for our circles. We're doing 6 in both directions. Continuing to breathe. We're going to start to really feel the glute and outer thigh. And then when you're done with those 6, reverse. So go back and up. Breathe in, breathe out. Last set here. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. Good. Do that little tap. And then you can do the figure 4 on that side. So lie down on your back. Take the foot on the edge of the thigh. Try to keep the foot flexed a little bit so that your ankle stays in line with your knee joint. And then arms could be in T or cactus. You can do some rocking. You can grab the back of the thigh and gently bring the thigh towards you. And then we can release that. Okay, let's roll onto our side and we're going to come back up onto our mat. So we've got 1 more like strengthening exercise, and then we'll do a little bit of stretching and cooling down. So we're going to be on all 4s, and we're going to slide our knees back a few inches. So I'm a little bit at an incline with my spine, and my shoulders stay over my wrist. So think of this sort of like, a half plank position. Beautiful. From here, I want you to think about the shoulder blades squeezing together as you let your chest sink down, and then exhale, push the floor away. So it's just this little squeeze of the shoulders and then release. Yes, good. Keep the tailbone tucked just a tiny bit more. Beautiful. And so here we're using our serratus muscle. It's the muscle that's surrounding our shoulder blades. And it's a really important one for good posture and to help strengthen that upper back. Let's do 2 more. Breathe in, exhale when you push. Last one. And exhale. And then you can press back to that child's pose. And as you inhale, think about sending the air into the low back, broadening the low back. If it feels nice, you could rock your head gently side to side and massage your forehead. And then you can come back up. We're going to come and sit on our mat. So cross-legged if that feels good. If cross-legged doesn't feel great, you could always sit with your legs extended. Also at home, when you do this, if you feel a bit of tightness in your hamstrings, you could sit on top of a pillow or a yoga block. And we're just going to take a couple stretches here before we end. So reach your arms up to the ceiling, take a breath in. Take your right hand down on the mat next to you. There's a soft bend in my right elbow, and I'm just leaning to the side, taking a nice side stretch. Think about the left hip staying grounded, so not letting the hip lift off the mat too much. And then as you inhale, press into the palm, come back to center, and over to the other side. Exhale. And then as you inhale, come back up. Let's find eagle arm. So this is a really good stretch for that upper back tightness that we were talking about. So the right arm goes in front of you forwards. It's 90. Yeah, you know where we're going. And then the left arm goes under. You can grab either the thumb or just the back of the hands can face each other. And then think about your elbows pressing into each other and forwards. And just that is going to create some space in your upper back and chest.
Ooh, I love that. I don't think I've been cued that way with the elbows forward. That's great. I feel that.
Yeah, it feels
Very nice.
really nice. Like the shoulder blades are really moving away from each other. Then you can do little slides up towards the ceiling and then down. And when you go down, you can round a little bit. Exhale. And then inhale. Just some gentle movement here to open up. And you can do that 3 times. And then you can release that. Hands can go on your knees. Just do a couple shoulder rolls forwards and back. And then let's try that with your other arm forward. So left arm goes forwards, right arm goes under. Again, grabbing what's available or just back of the hands. First, think about elbows pressing forwards and into one another. Breathe in. As you exhale, you can start adding the motion going up and down. And when you go down, feel free to round. And then you can release that and let go. Let's take the hands behind us on your mat and have your feet in front of you. Your feet can be at least hip distance, if not wider. And we're just doing little windshield wipers again for our hips here. So letting the knees drop to one side. You can do that a few times. And then if you want, you can have one hand go off the mat and kind of turn towards that leg. And then you can do that to the other side. And let's do that once more. And then you can come back to center. Let's bring the soles of our feet together for a butterfly. So the feet could be close, or if it feels better, they can be further out for you, whatever you prefer. Hands can hold on to the ankles. Relax your shoulders and think here of a gently lifting away with the arms. So kind of pulling yourself up to find some length in your spine. And then if it feels nice, you can round your spine. The elbows can come on your inner thighs or knees. And then you can let your head release down towards your feet. And here, really make sure the jaws and teeth are relaxed. Come back to your breath. And then you can come all the way back up. Let's extend the legs just for a split, so it doesn't have to be very big, but wide enough that you feel a little bit of inner thigh stretch. And then from here, reach your arms up to the ceiling. Take an inhale. As you exhale, just fold forwards, trying to keep a straight back, and then your hands can find the floor or the mat in front of you. Keep some flexion in your toes, meaning the toes are flexed, so pulled in and looking up to the ceiling. When you're ready to come back, you can just walk the hands in towards you slowly. And then we'll finish cross-legged just with a final few rounds of breathing here. So again, placing hands on the ribs, belly. If that doesn't feel good to you, you could always just relax your hands on your knees. And when you inhale, let the belly expand into your hands, relaxing everything. When you exhale, draw the belly in. Think about lifting the pelvic floor up with you. Breathe in, let everything relax. And as you exhale, drawing everything in. Let's do that one more time. And exhale. And then you can release that and open the eyes if they were closed. How do you feel?
Lovely. I feel so great. Thank you, Laura. This has been so fun. This is my first foray into doing a fitness routine on an Instagram Live. It's always just been kind of talking about things.
It feels very COVID-like for me, because when it was COVID, I used to do so
Yeah.
much online teaching.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I hope it's something we can save and just have available to
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to put it on
everyone.
our blog, the Doula Collective blog, so people can refer back to that as well there. Do you want to share at all about where you teach and how people can get in touch with you?
Yeah,
Do you do privates, or tell us
yeah,
about your
I
work?
do. So I teach a few group classes in two studios in New York City. One is in Queens. It's called Second Story Movement. And then one is in the Upper East Side. It's called the Wellness Den. So that's where I teach group classes. I also teach privates, whether that's online, at your home, or at any of those two studios where I have access to also a space. And then for the birth doula work, on the East River Doula Collective site, you can find my page and more info about myself.
Yeah, I love these complementary disciplines and modalities that you offer to really provide a greater continuum of care for
Yeah,
growing families.
it's really nice and a privilege to meet, some expecting parents early on in their journey, like even sometimes before they even get pregnant, and be able to work with them through that, and then even after, and in some cases get to be their birth doula as well. So it's
Mhm.
really nice.
Mhm. Wonderful. Well, I don't think I see. I'm just scrolling down to see if I see any questions or anything. Yeah, I don't see any. Hopefully
Okay.
people were just practicing with us and enjoying the
Yes.
wonderful replenishing, connecting with our bodies, connecting with our breath, getting some nice stretches, and oh, I loved it so much. So thank you
Thank
again,
you,
Laura.
Lisa. I'll see you
All
soon.
right.
Have a good day,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.